Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, another hysterical Karen pestering the staff. The second story, entitled Parents, the incident on the bus, and lawsuits. The third story, after I was fired, the owner paid me compensation and her business closed. The first story is, customer insists she knows our price is better than we, the workers, do. I was working yesterday, the day after Christmas, which I wouldn't normally be bothered about, but it was the first day of a giant sale going on in the store I work in, and I mean giant. Items for $3.95 instead of upwards of $15. Items 50% off and 75% off. Big. It only happens twice a year, so people tend to go crazy when this happens. The store was insanely busy, and we had too many people call out to monitor customers, so when our store should have only held 40 people, there were probably around 60 to 70 customers at any given point. So I was asked to hop on register to help control the line, as I'm usually pretty quick about getting through people, and have become a master at the whole customer service voice, and sucking up to people. Well, as usual, I log into the POS system and call out, "I can help whoever's next." This older lady comes up to the counter and places her basket on it. I reach out my hand to grab the first product in it when this other lady, we'll call her Karen, snatches the basket away and literally shoved it back at the first lady and waved her back to the line. This is roughly what was said. I can't remember everything, but it was memorable enough. Karen, excuse me, I was next. Did she call you by name? I didn't hear her say your name, which means I was next. Yeah, that's right, get back in line because she didn't call your name. I was next. I have places to be. I have an appointment soon. I already dreaded this transaction. I've been working retail long enough to know exactly who's going to be an easy customer and who is, not. My manager C, who is working the POS system next to me, and I exchanged a look. Putting on my best I'm being nice because I have to be smile, I greet her. Me, hello, did you find everything okay today? Karen doesn't answer me and literally just stares at me. She doesn't have a basket and isn't holding anything. I look around the counter in front of me to see if she had already placed something down and I missed it. I didn't. Karen pointed to the other end of the counter, made some kind of impatient gesture to my coworker, and tapped her foot until her 2 baskets were hurriedly slid over to me. I was already done with her, so I was scanning everything as quickly as possible, just dropping her things in her bag instead of neatly placing them in like I usually do. Karen was glaring daggers at the pin pad in front of her as I was ringing everything up. I just assumed that she finally realized just how much she was buying. Oh boy, was I wrong. I told Karen her total, around $80 if I remember correctly. Not bad for our store, considering what she had would usually cost around $150 to $200. She points to something on the pin pad and snaps at me. Karen, why is this one $8.25? It should be 75% off. I double check the item. Maybe it rang up wrong? It's not unusual for this to happen, especially with how many deals we run at once. But it is in fact a 50% off item, not a 75% off. I tell her that. Karen, no, I got all my things from the 75% off tower. It's supposed to be 75% off. Me, miss, I understand that, but somebody must have put this back in the wrong place. It's a bit confusing because this collection is split between the 50% off and 75% off towers. Half of it is on one side, the other half on the other. Another customer must have forgotten which tower they got it from and put it back on the wrong one. I promise what it's ringing up as is the correct price. Karen, no, I got it from the right half of the store, not the left. That means it's 75% off. Either adjust the price or I don't want it. I put it in the basket we have behind the counter for unwanted items. Clearly, Karen doesn't understand how barcodes work, and I don't have the authority to price adjust something like that. And I'm not going to keep arguing with her on this. This happens for another 2 products from the same collection, me explaining that half are 50% off and half are 75% off. She's getting more and more annoyed. And then we get to the full price items. She's fuming by now. I tried to explain that because she got these from off the wall, and not on a tower somewhere on the floor, that means they're full price, but part of the buy 3 get 1 free deal. She isn't having it. Karen, but it's your big sale. It should be at least 50% off. Mind you, she hasn't even bought anything, 50% off yet. Only the 75% off or the $3.95 items. I thought these would be $3.95. Me, no miss, only the products on the first table are $3.95. You got these ones from off the wall in the second room. The second room doesn't even have any deals right now. And then she said it. Karen, where's your manager? I want to speak to a manager. I raise an eyebrow and point directly next to me where C has been listening in this entire time. She's gone through 6 customers by now, and is also getting annoyed just by listening to Karen. C finishes up with her transaction and turns to me and Karen. Karen, these aren't ringing up correctly. I got everything off the 75% off table. Once again, C says everything that I already did. Someone must have put it back wrong. It was off the wall, blah blah blah. Karen's now arguing with her. Karen, I know where I got everything. C, I was just up there a few minutes ago putting this product out. Like I explained, and like how OP explained, this collection is split between the 2 towers. C then proceeds to list off exactly which parts of the collection are on the 50% off table and which are on the 75% off table. Something that I wasn't quite sure about, so I never mentioned to Karen. Karen, fine, if it isn't 75% off or $3.95, I don't want it. Take it off. So I do. I take off everything that isn't what she wants, take the products out of her bag, and put them behind me. I tell her the new total, around $35, and ask if she's paying with cash or card. Her eyes narrow. Oh no, she isn't done yet. Karen, are those green ones still there? I check her bag. No green product. I turn around and look through the unwanted basket, pulling out a few teal items. Me, these ones? Karen, yes, I actually want those. Green is my favorite color. First of all, these items are body products. You know, something you smell. It doesn't really matter what color they are as long as you like what it smells like. I have a really bad feeling that in an hour or two I'm gonna have her back in my line complaining about wanting a refund. Second of all, these are the full price items. I really don't want to have to go through this whole thing again. Me, miss, are you sure? This collection is full price. The ones off the wall? Karen, yes, I like green. I'll get those too. So I ring them up and tell her the total again. Me, $60-something, cash or card? She pays with card, and while she's waiting for it to load, she grabs the bag from behind the counter and lifts it up. It's important to note that because she originally had so much product at first, I was handed a large bag, double bagged, with a board in the bottom for extra support so it wouldn't rip as easily. And even though there's a giant sale right now, we never seem to run out of large bags. Karen, of course, noticed this little detail. Karen, can I have an extra bag? I'm a bit distracted with the long receipt printing out, and tell her not to worry, it's double bagged. Everything should be fine and she didn't buy any glass. Karen, no, a small bag. Me, oh, the cellophane bags? Sure, but just to let you know, we only have the skinny cello bags, not the large cello bags. I can give you a big stack of them though, if you want. Karen, no, a small bag. I look up and see her pointing at the bag she's holding. Oh, she wanted a paper store bag? Why? They're so ugly and that's what the cellophane is for, specifically for gift wrapping. I look over to C for help because I don't have any small bags at my station right now, and neither does she. C shakes her head and mutters to me that we don't have enough to do that today. Me, sorry miss, we can't do that today. We're already running low on bags as it is. Karen, okay, then I'll just give you back this extra one that I already have. Me, that's a double bagged large for support. If you have just one, your bag may rip and spill everywhere. Karen, I'll give you the large bag for a small bag. I want a small bag. Me, I can't do that today. Karen, look, there's already one used one behind you. I'll just take that one. I look behind me to see what bag she's talking about. She's right, there's an open and used bag on the counter. Open and used and not put away because someone's product exploded on the inside. I send a please help me look to C who rolled her eyes, grabbed the used bag, and practically shoved it towards Karen. Karen, thanks. God, that's all I wanted. Have a blessed one. The second she was out of earshot, C turned to me and congratulated me on keeping my cool. If I didn't desperately need the money, I would have 100% risked my job to scream and cuss her out. I lived in fear for the rest of my shift that she would come back, and I'd have to put up with her all over again. The second story is, entitled Mom Gets 30 Days in Jail for Harassing Bus Driver. Backstory. My dad is a high school assistant principal. It's currently his first year at a new school, and it's a much better school than the last one he was at, which was overpopulated, illegal substances filled, and many of the students there had to have free or reduced lunches. There were fights almost every week, and my dad had to suspend kids almost every day. His new school is much better, with just 2 incidents all year. One with an autistic kid who had an episode, and the one I'm about to tell you fine Redditors about. Cast. AP, my dad. EG, entitled girl. EM, entitled mother. EB, entitled brother. ES, entitled sister. BD, bus driver. J, judge. L, BD's school systems lawyer. EL, EM's lawyer. PM, my dad's principal. SC, school cop. To clarify, any dialogue I might include will obviously not be 100% correct. The original incident took place about a month ago. I'm not 100% sure what started it, but either BD accidentally bumped into EG while he was dropping her off, or he told off EG for saying something rude, but EG got peeved and texted EM about it. EM came out of her home and started yelling at BD, who just drove off. The next morning, BD went to pick up EG, but when he got to her driveway, she wasn't there. EM, EB, and ES were. BD opened the door to ask where EG was, and then EM, EB, and ES all boarded the bus. EG is a junior, I think. Her older EB was around 22 and her older ES was in college. These people were all adults, and all three of them started screaming at the poor BD, threatening him, calling him slurs, and telling him off. The rest of the kids on the bus were expectedly scared. The moment EM, EB, and ES got off, BD sped away. The one thing the entitled family forgot to think about was the fact that there are 4 HD cameras equipped with audio sensors on every bus in our county. They caught everything. The poor BD got the rest of the kids to school and went straight to the front office. AP was peeved. He got the video feed from the bus, called SC, who called some other cops, and had EMZ arrested for malicious harassment, intimidation, trespassing, and a few other things. PM let AP have control over the whole situation because he knows my dad does not F around with these kinds of things. AP had EG switch to a different bus route, had EB, ES, and EM permanently banned from the school grounds, and he gave BD a month of paid time off. Working with L, AP got statements from the most of the kids who were on the bus, and they decided to press charges against only EM and EB. EB had apparently been in the middle of a 6-month probationary period for a different crime, so he was essentially guaranteed jail time. Going into the trial, 2 weeks ago, nobody expected EM to get any more jail time than a week, if that. AP, PM, and SC were in the courthouse in case they needed to be called as witnesses. They were not. L made his remarks and EL just tried to reduce EM's sentence down. He knew they were going to lose. The videos weren't even shown to J because there was so much other evidence. J surprised everyone when he gave EM a 30-day sentence. He made it very clear to EM that she had threatened the life of a man, endangered kids, and trespassed on school property. For no reason besides BD had told off EG, and that she should be punished accordingly. AP and PM were trying not to cheer, but that wasn't even the best part. EB skipped his trial. They were back-to-back, so there's no way he could have forgotten. J immediately issued a bench warrant for EB's arrest. He was caught the next day in EM's house, and when brought in front of J, was given a year in prison for breaking his probation, skipping his trial, and for the same charges as EM. As for EG, she switched schools. AP has told this story to almost everyone he knows, as he finds the karma hilarious. And the last story is, my boss told me I wasn't allowed to take holidays even with 7 months of notice. I worked at a hair salon and it was just my boss, also the owner, and myself, the apprentice hairdresser. I'd been there long enough to accumulate holiday pay, and my girlfriend at the time found a great deal to go to Thailand for a week. The flight was for around October, an entire 7 months away, and my boss told me I wasn't allowed to go, because there was only us working in the salon and she needed me. Well, I brought the tickets anyway, and she was incredibly peeved off with me about it and kept pestering me. After I got back from my holiday, it was still just my boss and myself as she failed to hire more hairdressers. They'd come for a few shifts and just stop showing up. She found out through a friend of hers that I was looking for work elsewhere, and when I came in for my next shift, she fired me on the spot. I went to Fair Work, I live in Australia, and found out that although I couldn't get her for the bullying she put me through or unfair dismissal, since she fired me one day under an entire year working there, I could however get her for unemployment. I went through the Fair Work process and got her for underpaying me over $14,000. She's still paying me back to this day, and her business went under a year or two after she fired me unfairly. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.